3. Hi everybody, this is Ken. I'm getting ready to put the pistons into my motor that's going to eventually go into the 46 Ford truck. But I just wanted to give you a few tips really quick, just maybe one or two. Before you unbag your engine, if it's been sitting in plastic like this for a little while, take your air hose and blow off your plastic. We're just making sure there's no grit or grime on it that is going to fall into the motor when I unwrap it. Cleanliness is godliness, I guess they say, but cleanliness in your motor is everything, all important. Don't pull your bag back over the top of your motor now that you've pulled it off. Keep it down here to the side. Nothing will fall on your motor. Even before I lean over the motor, I've blown myself off already to make sure there's nothing on me, in my hair, in my face, on my jacket or my clothes that's going to fall into this motor while I'm working on it. Gotta keep it clean. The second thing I want to show you is when you're putting pistons in. I've used clamp ring compressors before. Let me get one really quick. Here is a ring compressor. This is an adjustable compressor. Tightens down here, gets smaller or larger. They're not too bad, especially for smaller bores. But the problem is that they're so thin, especially when you open them up for larger bores. It's just one little thickness of this steel, and that can actually get in between your piston and your cylinder, which is not good. And it also doesn't seal tight when you push it down. Therefore your thin ring, such as an oil ring, can pop out and you'll bend the edge of it as you're shoving the piston in. So this is a solid aluminum piece. These are awesome. This is for my 427. It's a little bigger than this motor. It's got a little lip right here. You see that? That actually sits right inside the cylinder. Allows me to just sit this right on the block. It's tapered. Man, this makes putting pistons in so easy. Second type is this one right here. This is actually adjustable for a couple of different widths. I haven't tried an adjustable one before, but we're going to give it a shot on this motor, so I'll let you know how it goes when we do. And that's going to be in about 5 minutes. Alright everybody, this is Ken. I'm going to talk to you about this ring compressor here. This is from Summit. It fits a 4.0 to 4.09 bore. I've got a 4.020 bore here. It's held together by a ring clamp, or by a clamp, hose clamp. It's got a gap so it's adjustable, and it's made of aluminum. I'm not super fond of it. I put in 3 pistons right now, just now, and I'll tell you why I'm not fond of it. Let me show you a different one. This is an ARP unit. This is for a much larger bore, of course, my 427 40 over. It has a little ring. I don't know if you can see it down here, but this helps it center on the piston bore. Keeps it from wobbling around. You can just set it right over the bore. It centers itself. You shove the piston down. It seems to have a better taper, a little thinner on top, a little thicker on the bottom. So the pistons just drop right in. I really like this thing. I can't speak highly enough about it, and it's perfect. This one didn't come with any instructions in its box. It's actually not fully round, and I think that has to do with some of its compressibility here. It doesn't compress in a perfectly round circle. So that's kind of discerning a little bit. Even when you just put it down on a bare piston, you can see that it's not a perfect circle. But I've got a piston here, and let's put it in the motor, and I'll talk about it while we're doing it. Of course, make sure you've got everything oiled up right, got your ring gaps in the right place, you got lube on your bearings, you got your caps over your studs or your bolts so they don't hurt anything. So we're getting our piston down on here. The oil rings go in really nice and easy. The taper's pretty good for that. But it gets a little hung up when you're starting to get your other rings in there. You almost got to give them a little bit of compression in order for it to sit down. And I might have a second ring almost good enough. There's our second ring in there. Now we're working the top ring. It just hangs out a little further than the taper on the ring compressor. It's just that little bit of trouble getting it actually into the ring compressor. And I've tried starting with this loose and then tightening it down, and it just didn't seem, I mean, the piston went in easier, but then I had to keep the piston up high enough that the oil rings weren't sitting on the block while I got this tight, and it was kind of a pain. So this is the way I found best out of these three to do it. And now let's see if it'll just tap down in. So once we had it in, it works great. I just don't like that it doesn't self-center. It's not completely round, and it just doesn't work as well as the non-adjustable. My advice, although this is workable, buy one that's made specifically for the bore you're working with. They're not that expensive. Later.